Hello, Professor Toybox here, and joining me today is Natasha Romanoff, also known as the Black Widow, and in this episode we're going to implement the logic for the main mission in my Hydra-based toy box. That mission, of course, is to find and hack the 4 computer terminals that will bring down the force field protecting the main castle. So let's start by reviewing the creativitoys that I've already placed ahead of time. So at each outpost I've placed 3 things. I have an ability terminal, I have a radar marker, and a locator. We've got it on top of that tower. We've got the same setup over here on top of this archway. We've got the same setup over here on top of this tower. And we've got the same setup in the cave that is over here on this side of the toy box. As you see, if I can get down low enough, same controls. And then up here at the castle, we have some additional controls. We have a logic and, a replayer, 2 time delayers, a text displayer, and an action enforcer. And all of these toys I've shown you so far are from the Creativitoys drawer. And there's one more thing, a sound effects generator. This is from the Gameplay Toys drawer. If I pick this up, you can see where that is. And then finally, I've also got a locator up here in front of this door, and another radar marker, and a locator here in front of the gate with a target camera out here. And let me show you where this is positioned. This is about even with the height of the gate, and it's lined up with the edge of the lower cliff down there. So that's what we have to work with. Now, to save a little time again, I've already set up 3 of the ability terminals. I'm only going to show you how to do 1 because they're all the same. So I don't need to show you this 4 times. So the ability terminal, we're going to open the logic menu, go to the properties, and by default the character type is tech. And what that means is that only a character who has the tech ability can hack this terminal. And if you want, you can change this to be any. Because right now with the servers down, when a character who does not have the tech ability comes up and tries to hack that, you get a kind of a weird message because it can't retrieve the text from the server. I don't know why it implemented it that way, but that's the way it seems to have worked. And then the default time limit of 30 seconds is fine. That's how long the player has to hack the terminal before they fail. Alright, the radar marker. We'll come to the properties. The beacon type is going to be a yellow arrow. The beacon location will be the locator that will connect up in a moment. And by default, I want this on when we come into the toy box. And now we'll go ahead and connect up the radar marker to that locator. And so the ability terminal needs to do 2 things. So we'll do a new logic connection. When the terminal is hacked, the first thing we want to do is turn off this radar marker. The second thing we want to do, new logic connection when the terminal is hacked, we want to come up here to the castle to our logic and we want to input into that. And so this toy, when all 4 terminals have been hacked, all 4 of the inputs have been triggered, then this toy will broadcast its completed signal and finish the mission. So that's the goal there. So now that we've hooked up the ability terminal, we can go ahead and move this locator, and we're going to put that right on top of the terminal. And I like to do that last because it just makes it easier to select. Because when you got these two things sitting on top of each other, it can be hard to select it. So that's all you do with that. And again, I've already set up all of the logic connections and everything over here. All I need to do that I did not do ahead of time is turn this on and move the locator. And so I'll go ahead and do that just for completeness sake. It just goes a little bit better. And again, I didn't need to show you all of these ahead of time because it just didn't make any sense to do that. Once you've seen how to do one, you can do these others yourself. But I do want to finish setting these up just because it was easier to show with the locator in its original position and without the radar marker turned on. And then the last one is out here. So this part of the mission is pretty straightforward. There's not really a whole lot to do here. The part where you hack the terminals is very easy to set up. The rest of the mission is keyed off of the logic and again, this will not broadcast until all 4 of the connected ability terminals have been hacked. And so this drives the rest of the mission. And once the ability terminals have been hacked, we want to direct the player up here to the castle. And so we want to first set up this radar marker. So we'll connect that to this locator, because that's going to tell the player where to go next. And once again, the properties on here. We'll use the yellow arrow again. The location needs to be the locator. And this is off by default. We don't want to turn this on until all the terminals have been hacked. And we need to show the player where to go. They may not notice right away that there's a new radar marker. So that's why we have the target camera. So on here, we're going to connect up to the locator, which is out here in front of the gate. There we go. And on the properties for this, we're going to use a defined duration of 4 seconds. That should be long enough. Follow is fine. Cut. Triggering player is fine. Glow through we don't need. Camera target is going to be the connected locator. And all the rest of this is fine. All right, let's put the force field in next. And for that, we're going to use the replayer. So on the properties for that, I'm going to take the playback interval to 0. And then for the force field, the only thing we really have that we can use that'll work is the scalable barrier block in the platforming toys drawer. So let's go ahead and exit out of the editor. And I'm going to come step on my replayer, which opens the menu in the lower right corner. And on the Wii U, I press B on my controller to start recording. And then I step off so I can get back into the editor. And then we'll go ahead and put the barrier block around the castle. So we place that, and then we can go ahead and stretch this so that it encompasses the castle. This way the player cannot get into the castle without removing this scalable barrier block. All right, and then we'll step back on the replayer, Press B again to stop recording, and that's good enough. So now we have a barrier that will not, we cannot get through. But we have a replayer that we've used to put it down, so that means we can clear the replayer to remove that barrier. Alright, this time delayer, we're going to use 2 time delayers here because there's 2 messages that I need to use to display to the user, which is why we have the text displayer here. So on the properties for the text displayer, I'm going to take the text duration to 4. Text style will be banner, so it'll be in big letters across the screen. Player cannot miss it. And then we'll display a message, and then 4 seconds later we'll display another one. So we're going to use this time delayer for that. And we're going to set the delay time on this to be 4 seconds. Like so. And then we're going to use another time delayer here. So after the second message goes away, we're going to do something else. So for that we need to set this to 8 seconds. Alright, and then on the sound generator, we'll turn off the 3D sound at speaker or locator, so the player will be able to hear this wherever they are in the toy box. Okay, so once again, everything is keyed off of the logic AND. So when all 4 terminals have been hacked, this toy will be triggered. So on the logic AND, we'll do a new logic connection. And actually, let's go down and look at the properties real quick. Yeah, auto resets off, so that's fine. All right, so a new logic connection. When complete, the first thing we're going to do is come over to our replayer and clear it. And that will remove the force field, which is the whole point of hacking those terminals. Next thing we'll do, new logic connection. When complete, we're going to come over to our text displayer, and under the victory category, we'll tell them that did it. And then a new logic connection on the logic AND when that's complete. We want to come over to the action enforcer and have all the players celebrate. And a new logic connection on the logic AND when complete. We'll also play our little musical fanfare. That's the little flourish I like to do when the player completes a mission. Alright, on the logic AND, a new logic connection when complete. We'll come over to our first time delayer here and start the delay. And when that delay is completed, new logic connection. When the delay is completed, we'll come over to our text displayer, and underneath the survival modes drawer, we're going to tell them proceed to the exit. Okay. And I just thought of something I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and take out this second time delayer here. And we'll just use this one to key off of. Because the thing I was doing was waiting until that message finished before I activated the target camera. I think we can do both at the same time. So a new logic connection on our time delayer. When the delay is completed, we'll come over here to our target camera and activate it. And that will show the player where they need to go. And then once the camera goes off 4 seconds later, then the player needs the radar to help them get up here. And so for that, come back to our logic AND one more time, do a new logic connection when complete, come over to our radar marker and activate that. And that directs them on how to get up here. And there we go. That's pretty much everything. So at this point, we can go and hack those terminals. And you've already seen me do that in the playthrough video, so I don't think I need to do that again. But that's it for the main mission. Next time, we'll set up some zones around each of the outposts and bunkers that we can use to spawn enemies to defend them. And I'm doing something a little different with these zones than I've done in the past, so be sure to come back next week so you don't miss that episode. Or better yet, subscribe to my channel by clicking my photo in the lower right corner, and then you won't miss the next episode when it airs. Also, I want to remind you that I've got logic diagrams on my blog to help you connect the creativitoys that I used today. The link is in the video description. Have a great day.